Well, is bucket fills or something good. So weather's getting better, so tell me what you got. All that. I was like, nothing, we got nothing.
Last week I signed a buyer from an open house, and that was my first time being an open house.
Yes, ma'am. Love that. Who else?
T-minus 1 month and 7 days till my race.
Ooh.
Raise,
About
raise.
that.
You said raise. I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
Jamie's giving me a raise.
Happiness is the raise.
All right, what else? Anybody on Zoom have anything good? I can't see it here, but.
We got our Montgomery listing under contract.
Oh, no. Yeah, I had a point to talk to one of the neighbors that came and talked to me as they were picking up signs. He's like, so could you help me list my home? And
Yes.
the neighbor across the street might want to do
No,
that.
I don't do that. Yeah.
So we're gonna have a conversation with him.
Awesome.
Great. Take over that town.
Little block.
Well, what else is good? Okay, fine, I'll share it. I was telling the PC group, I had like an amazing 4 days and it was super jam packed. There were 6 soccer games. My oldest daughter got asked to play soccer in Sweden this summer. And then my youngest daughter had 3 goals in 1 game, and then the upper level coach had texted me on the plane, like I was on the plane on Sunday going to Texas for a leadership event, and was like, hey, we were just curious, Maddie was so fun to watch, would she be willing to play on the higher level team?
Wow.
So super cool things for the kids. And then the leadership event was really, really good. It was really amazing. So I'm excited to kind of look over my notes and bring some of that stuff to you guys over the next few weeks. So yeah, those are all positive.
That's awesome.
I have something good. I just
Another one.
remembered, I'll be helping the Serempa team at the Artisan Tour. It's this June, so you come out and see their awesome Long Lake projects and some other cool homes.
Oh,
Ah.
and guys, Red Day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Inside, oh,
What?
rain,
Inside.
rain.
Oh, I was like, it's wondering about the
But the rain tomorrow is not.
Bring your rain jacket.
Yeah, but you can't paint in the
Okay,
rain, that's the problem.
We don't have a backup plan, so.
Oh.
It's only 30% chance.
70.
70.
Since when?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, okay, all right.
More to come if things change, but as of right now,
We're painting, bring your raincoat.
we're not, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
In the rain.
Yeah,
that's the
we're-
only problem.
We are for sure not doing it.
Show up, and if they tell you to leave, leave.
Here's the deal. You know what the other thing that we could do is if it is raining, this would be a great opportunity. Maybe we could make door knockers and we could go door knock the neighborhood and introduce ourselves. I don't know. I'm just being
The
creative.
hourly forecast shows it's done by 9, so.
Yeah, see, we
Yeah.
start at 9. We're good.
Yeah.
This is like people when I had an outdoor wedding.
Bring a fan.
What if it rains? I'm like, what if it rains?
Then it
I'm
does.
just gonna do.
Keep
we're-
on going.
We're gonna improvise.
I'll bring a fan. Dry
We
on
can
the
all go
siding.
to brunch. I don't know.
10 o'clock,
We can have fun together.
I like it.
Right? Like, we've got the day already planned for this, so no matter what, show up and then figure it out. Does that sound good?
I think a good place,
Wait,
if it
wait,
rains,
wait.
to stand up at the local Irish pub in West End. Perfect.
Cool.
Rainy day.
Yeah. Right? There. Everyone just show up and we'll figure it out. That for leadership. Show up and we'll figure it out.
Have a good
All right. Candy, what's the next slide?
Oh, yeah, sorry on that.
driver.
I'm distracting her.
What's the next slide? We're a little off today, guys. That's okay.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Figure it out.
Up and loading here. Okay.
Hi, Shane.
Look at those.
What natural.
Okay, tutor of the day. So, we just want to reiterate who the tutor of the days are. And just call, text, email. And this is an opportunity to ask agents some of the questions that you might have. So, don't ever hesitate to call. No matter what the question is, either they'll figure it out or they can refer you to someone that is able to. And thank you to all of the tutor of the days. May calendar is out. Just a reminder, again, you can go in on this and click and go right to the Eventbrite. So I know that it is a question that happens often. How do I register? You can register by clicking on the event and it'll take you right to that registration page. So we've made it a lot easier and simplistic for you, which me too, because sometimes I'm like, where do I go? So that's super awesome. A few of the things in May that are happening. We have Red Day, office is closed, so just a reminder on that. The touch panel is actually going to be, you bring your laptop and they're going to actually create a touch plan with you. So it's an interactive situation. So if you're like, I don't know what to do for a smart plan, go to that class and you can create one with, I believe it's Jason, right?
Yeah.
And then we have R&R on the 17th after our team meeting with also some lead gen in between there.
That's at the Muni. So the reason why we're switching it up is because we need to be out in the community a lot more, especially in Wayzata, where there is both Compass and Coldwell Banker. So it's really good for us as a community, as a group to try to be, integrating into these, especially Wayzata and Minnetonka local establishments. And the Muni is, owned by the city of Wayzata, and there's always people there that we're going to know from other companies and some of our clients and stuff. So.
I love that. Any questions regarding that? And then the objection response showdown. Last time we had a conversation panel, and a lot of people had requested, instead of them things going longer, right? Because we all know things can be done correctly. Sometimes you fumble. And the great thing is that these are master, I can't say the word scripters, master conversationalists. And what's going to be fun about this is they're going to have a time frame. So they have this amount of time, and if they fumble or whatnot, they get the buzzer and they're off. So it's going to be kind of a fun competition. You've got some really, high D's on the panel that want to win, and it's going to be fun. So, and it's going to allow you to see something coming at them at a quick manner, right? Is that you have to know, this isn't recorded, or if it is, you have to know the script. You have to know the conversation to be able to spit it out right away. And it just becomes second nature, right? It's not like they're looking at it as, hey, I know I've done this so many times that this is where I'm going to go with it. So it'll be fun to see that portion of it.
Integrity.
Is it at,
I think it's that late.
I think it's at Minneapolis Lakes office, yeah.
Will be Zoom.
We can,
Yes.
yes, it
Okay.
will be.
Minneapolis. or-
Yep,
Integrity Lakes,
yep. We can carpool, Rick.
super easy place to get
I
to.
told you we can carpool. Multiple offers panel then is the following Tuesday, 36 touch workshop. And then on the 31st, we have an all office team meeting. And this one is going to be incredibly important for you guys to attend. We've got some really fun things that we're going to be announcing that we've been putting together for quite some time now. So that'll be announced at the 31st team meeting. And then we do have another fun kind of competition, but also to get us kind of ramped up in business again. It's called Impact, and it's going to be between the 5 market centers, and there's going to be some competition around it. We're going to be launching the marketing for that probably next week. But it's essentially very lead gen heavy, as well as the techniques and the tactics to lead gen and get our business kind of over the hump in regards to the summer months. The goal is to get 2,000 pieces of business under contract in 60 days between the 5 market centers. So we will be kind of competing against who can get the most depending on the size of the office. Any questions regarding that? More information will be coming about next week on it. And it's baseball themed, so we can think of a team name and do fun things. Next. Red Day, we talked about that tomorrow. Show up no matter what. And they might have some other things for us to do too. So I don't really know that piece of it. Mega agent event. This is the one that I don't know much about, but it's Tuesday, June 20th. It is here. And then they have the Twins and Red Sox. Can you go deeper into this one, Candy?
So this is gonna be, so Perry Hurst, from the Edina office holds the, interviews with mega agents, and he does a lot with that in our, market centers. But this, last year they invited somebody from California, I can't remember his name. And that guy was like, you know, who you should really get out there is Sven, because he's amazing. He, like, if you look at his volume, it's crazy. And so Sven's gonna come out here and do a mega agent interview with Perry Hurst. And because he's from Boston, afterwards, that evening, there's a Red Sox game. So that QR code will sign you up for the event, and it's here. It'll also be on Zoom if you can't make it here, but it is here. It will probably fill the room. So if you want to come, I'd say do it early. And then through that QR code, you can also sign up to go to the game if you want. That's optional. But we are also gonna go to a game, so that'll be fun too, just to all go and be at together. So, but that is what that is all about. And then the next slide, I'm gonna just.
Do you have any questions regarding this?
You know, I think he did a panel on teaching classes and stuff for like Mega Camp or something when it was digital. And he was really good.
Yeah.
Yep. And so this is, they are also looking to invite agents to hear from him who maybe you've had a really good experience with on the other side. So maybe not a KW agent or from another brokerage that you're like, oh, this agent would also really value in hearing from him. And I had a really good experience with them. I've had multiple great experiences with this person that's on the other side of a transaction from me. And those people, if you want us to invite them, those names can go to Katie.
Awesome.
Is the baseball game like family friendly, or is that intended for?
I think it's family friendly.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's totally family friendly. Yeah.
Because it's a reserved area?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Before we go to this,
I'm so sorry.
So we started scripting this week at
Oh,
10:15,
yes.
Monday through Thursday. And the topic this week and next week is expires and objections. And so each week there'll be like a new topic, but we only had 2 days this week, so.
Is it just in person or in Zoom?
In person, in here,
Got it.
10:15 to 10:45. I am hosting and so far intent has attended. So.
That is, what is it? Everybody is welcome to come to it.
Sure.
And I think, I'm sorry, I put the old calendar in here. I think on the one with the peak of the week that goes out with the peak of the week has that listed on there. So if you forget about it or whatever, when you look at that calendar on Monday, that is on there too for the 10:15 conversation, mastering your conversations, I think is what it's titled.
Yeah, and it's fun. I kind of like put it together so that we could have fun a little bit, because sometimes it's stressful to think about for me, so.
Well, I think people have been asking for scripting a lot, and now we have a time frame for that. So if that's something you're looking for, make sure to put it on your calendar, because they are here to help with that. Okay. I think before this, though, we have to do the cultural award.
I have this one first. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Well, Anna's not here, but congratulations.
And third baby.
And
There's
Rick. Rick, do you want to present the cultural award?
I do.
I do.
Come on down.
So, as if you guys know me, I could be a grumpy bastard a lot of times. And so this particular lady, every single time I see her is smiling, and she makes me smile. She is just super kind. She probably has influenced all of you guys.
Well, that eliminated me.
You're right. It has influenced all of you negatively. Amy, you're still in. positively in a positive way, which is super hard to do when we've got this many agents involved in an office. It's hard to touch base with people and communicate with them and help them out and so on and so forth. So she's just amazing, and she goes to all the cultural events and is a major part of our culture here at the business, and that is Canteen.
This was like super weird. I'm just gonna
You're-
say thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for your nice. words.
And she gets really awkward when.
I don't like being the center of attention. So. And it's weird because I put these slides together, so she's like hounding him like, who are you gonna give it to? And he's like, I can talk to you. So I just want to say that like every day I'm so grateful when I come here and I'm like, this is fun, and I get to surround myself with you guys who are impacting other people's lives, and I get to hear your stories, and I feel like it's really special to be a part of that. So I just am super grateful and honored that we do this every day. I love it. And I made notes. Because I was like, not everybody knows it's coming, so I feel this extra weight. But I also feel like a responsibility to you guys to make this market center a place that you want to be at, and that you have the resources to like grow your business, do the things that you want to do so that you can impact your lives, so that I can hear those stories and it also back. And so I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you.
Did you know Joe?
I had to tell her yesterday.
Okay.
She asked me who was it gonna go to because I need to put it on the slide.
Yep.
So it was a bit awkward walking into her office and saying, well, it's going to you. So-
You know, what she said was so Joe too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
he always wanted to help everybody
Yep.
and hear how you were doing and celebrate it with you. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and he loved
That's
coming to
awesome.
work, which is a crazy thing to say. Yeah, I love coming here. That's,
Yep.
that's a very, very positive. for an office.
I love coming in. to
I
see
love
you.
coming here. I wasn't.
I was like, quick question. I love seeing your bright and shining.
I'm sure you do.
All right, April numbers. So it's been really cool kind of seeing over the last few months, right? We were in some time periods where numbers were different and difficult, whether or not it was buyers kind of backing out of the market and listings being lower. So some of these numbers are really cool. So congratulations to you guys, because they're really, it's about you and what you're funding your life with. So also note that if something is not on here, just let us know, please, because we are human and there are mistakes or the way that things go through the system sometimes. It happens. So top individual listings taken. So we have Dan with 1. We have Kevin Campbell at 6. All right, closed volume for April. We have Jacob Middleton at 1 million. Closed DPI, we have Jacob Middleton. All right, top team. Steinbach home selling team with 1, exceptional home team. Steinbach home selling team with 2.2 million in listings taken. Closed volume. Steinbach home selling team with 1.7. Home company with the top GCI, Barbara Home. So we have listings taken for top groups. Homer's group with 5, Sarashba team with 3, Homer's group with 3.3 with listing statement. All right, closed volume for April. We have Zurich Property Twins with 5.5. 4.7. With 4.1, and Drama Real Estate Group with 3.2. Guys, those are huge numbers.
Oh,
Did you find out? You got beat on Camping Fest.
Oh, I did? By who? Oh, you did it.
Camped in one transaction.
Deal.
Jeez.
One deal. So now I tell you that so that you can beat him next year. We got a long time to clear.
I still had to beat her because she did it in one transaction last year.
Yeah.
Beat them both.
So now,
You did it in less than one transaction.
but you can at least be.
But I get tied. I get tied.
See, this is even better. Both that.
No.
It's gonna happen. No, we cannot close until this date. Close GCI, Zurich Property Twins, and this. Real estate. All right, so want to go through market, the market center numbers, and we always do this compared to, I don't know if you guys remember last month, compared to the area and then MLS. So a few of the numbers are similar, a few of them are not. So this is an area for discussion, right? On how we're either gaining market share or how we're pacing with the market. So we are at, for closed units, we're down by 20%. The MLS is down 21% and the area is down 22%. So if we remember last month, it's interesting because we were actually down pending and contracts written. So that means that there were obviously contracts written that were further out, right? So some of those either could have been new construction or 60-day closings, which is something to take note of. Because before it was a direct reflection month over month, because there weren't a lot of closings that were more than 30 days. You remember, do you guys remember contracts written last month was down? And I was like, oh, we are going to be down further than MLS. We weren't. We're actually outpacing MLS in our area, which is great. But something to note on why that's like that. Closed volume, we're down 14.6. The MLS is down 16, and our area is down 17. So again, we're outpacing the market and MLS. Listings taken, as you could see in some of the listings taken, there was a lot of ones, right? But there were more people taking those. So that's just a matter of let's get more people taking listings as well as getting multiples in there, because we're down 23%, MLS is down 13, and the area is down 7%, which means there's opportunity out there that we can capitalize on. Listings taken volume, we're down 19, MLS is down 6%, and the area is a little shy of 1%. Listings sold, we were down 25%, the MLS is down 21%, and the area is down 22%. So these are, I think about like 4 years ago, there was not a lot of negative, like down, 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 down. Consistently, it's been down, down year over year. So it's just something to think about why that is or how we can help. I mean, again, obviously the MLS in the area are, but if we take more market share, ours can actually be positive. Listing closed volume down 19.7%. MLS is down 16, and the area is down 17. So we're pretty close on that piece. But then again, we go back to contracts written, and we're down 32%, and the MLS is down 22%, and the area is down 22%. Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that we're down 20 or 32%? Yeah. Okay. Just in regards to listings that are out there, are we losing out on multiple offers? Which there's not. That's like, what does that mean? How are we feeling it? Is our pipeline, is it our pipeline? Is our pipeline low? Is it? These are real questions, live.
I'm seeing a ton of multiple offers.
Okay.
So a buyer will be against 15 to 30 people. So
Okay.
My buyers are choosing not to compete.
Okay, so now they're kind of backing out of the market again.
I
Okay,
like ebb and flows because I saw two homes, one in Minneapolis, the moisture in the basement was bad. But everything else was redone really well. And another Richfield, neither of them had any offers all throughout weekend. And they were reaching out to me, they're like, I saw that you had, like, you toured it, like, are you
yeah,
going to? But then, like, we put in an offer in Hopkins, and only 4 offers went, and it was super cute house right off downtown Hopkins. And all 4 offers were the exact 25 over, so went to 400. And 3 of them had inspections, 1 didn't, and that's what they picked. And we were pass fail, we were second. But then the Crystal listing we had was 19 offers. Our Johnson in Northeast had 4 offers. So it's like a really.
okay,
Hearing, you know, 2 things from sellers. One is we just don't know if we're gonna be able to find something. There's
Okay.
that uncertainty of what's gonna be out there.
and that was a conversation we had about a year ago though, too. It was that same conversation.
And then you talk about, you know, can you do an interim move for a year and rent, you know, we'll find you a place. We find a lot of houses off market, you know, that whole conversation,
Yeah.
but there's just a lot of skepticism and animosity about the general market. And that's the second piece, is there's a lot of people who are saying, yeah, we're just not sure what's going on with the market right now, so we're gonna wait. I mean, it doesn't help that the Fed's consistently, every single month, consistently are bringing the rates up. You know, it's just like now we've seen it 5 or 6 months in a row. And so people are waiting. Are they going to do it again next month? Are they going to do it again next month? You know, so it's just.
But that's a great point. Most likely the pattern is they're going to do it again next month and your buying power goes down by that much more, right? And those buyers start dispersing outside of there and not looking in your price range. Because I think that's a fair thing, is we don't know what the market, we never know what it's gonna do. It's just in your face because you're watching the media. Do you ever really know what the market's gonna be like? I mean, like, honestly, think of COVID, right? We're like, it's a great market, you know, we're going into the spring market, bam. Like 3 days and everything shut down. So we don't ever really know what the market is gonna be. So when people say that, I think a question is, when do we actually know that? And what would make them feel comfortable, right? Well, I want to know what's going to happen with the Fed. I would like to know that all the time, not even just about housing, right? But like, that's a real, I mean, that's a fear that really, can it be answered, and what are they fearful of, right?
You know, there's a saying, the confused mind says no. And I think there's a lot of confusion right now about the economy. Are we headed for a recession or curbing inflation? And I have this sense that there's just, I'm confused, just no, I can't. And so trying to unravel some of that with people about what exactly is the source of their confusion or their uncertainty is part of the challenge. I mean, it just takes deeper conversations. It takes a little more time.
I think that's the other piece of it, is why are they moving, right? We talk about motivation, but like, what are the other things they're uncertain about? Jobs, right? Because that's a real question. Like they honestly might be uncertain about, am I going to have a job in 6 months? Am I going to get laid off? Am I going to be able to pay for a mortgage? I mean, getting into those deep relationships with people to help them make that decision is going to be huge in this market, of actually asking the questions of not just, I need to move because I don't have enough space, but what's really making you fearful? Because I don't think it's interest rates that people are fearful of. It's the lack of money that they might be able to pay for that potential mortgage, right? The interest rate, we focus on that, but that's not the problem for the fear that they have, in my opinion. What else are we seeing? Nothing? Awesome. Let's talk about the other numbers. I was like, I don't know what the funk is today, but
I had a list appointment.
Oh.
They're like, well, they're helping me buy, so they're gonna take less.
and that's the fear of agents right now, not thinking that they're gonna have enough business, right? So they're like, I need a business now, I'm gonna cut my commission. It's the same thing, right? They're like, if it's here in front of me, I'll do whatever it takes so that I can get a paycheck. Like, that's honestly what that is.
And-
It's a fear coming from the agents that think they aren't gonna have the next deal.
And they're gonna list them high. We were talking about this yesterday too. They're gonna shoot high. They're gonna get, tell the sellers what the sellers want in order to get the listing. It's a tricky situation out there when there's less properties for all these realtors to sell. It gets a little bit more cutthroat and people start, doing more than they normally would in the past to try to get a deal put together.
And I think it's gonna be frustrating for people, right? It's gonna be really frustrating, but at the same time, if you're completely honest with someone and you actually explain that to them, like, other people are gonna do this. And I can do the same thing, but I know we're gonna have the conversation in 3 weeks that your house isn't gonna sell, or we're gonna get a low ball offer and you're gonna be mad. So this is my professional opinion, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like that goes a long way versus, you wanna list it at 950? Cool, let's do it, and we'll just see what happens. Because week after week, that is the most stressful thing as a real estate agent that you can have. Why isn't it selling? Why isn't it doing this? Why don't we have any showing? Well, it's overpriced. Well, you didn't tell me. Well, actually, I did. Right? You just have to be, I feel like, honest with them about it. And you're probably going to lose some. You're probably going to lose some because someone's going to do it for cheaper and that client's not going to be happy. I don't know. I don't think you can do much about that piece of it. What do you think?
I do think that there's something else that's happening now too, and that is a lot of our clients. So in the price range of let's just say 700 and above, a lot of those people have got second homes in Arizona and Florida, and they didn't come back last month because it sucked here. So a lot of people have waited an extra month to come back to Minnesota. So we have a bunch of people coming back. I was talking with Beth Ulrich this morning over at Compass. And she has 4 new listings over 3 million. All of them are people who just came back. So, and we've got the same thing coming now where we've got 2 of them that we're going to meet with next week that have just come back this week. And that's crazy that they're coming back in May when usually you're coming back in, March or April. So we got to be ready for those people. And also those listings are going to hit the market as well. So networking.
All right, let's talk about, I'll go through this quick because we also have Tanya here to teach some fun things. So closed units, we had 75 over last year at 87, but closed volume was at 96 versus 43.
Well, that's like 1.3 million average if you take the closed units and divide those volumes.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's insane, right? So this is also, in my opinion, why we're not feeling some of the hit. If we're selling, what do we get paid on? We don't get paid on units, right? So it's like, okay, cool, we sold this many units, but you're getting paid on this. And then people are like, well, I still have the same commission, but if this changes, if price point changes, that's gonna be an issue. Right? Like if that dips at any point in time, there's gonna be some catch up that everybody has to do. Because, I mean, that's a pretty large discrepancy in units versus volume year over year. In a month that actually is usually quote unquote spring market.
So this is saying significantly higher price
Average
point.
sales, yeah.
Yeah, and so that also, a big responsibility that we have is to adapt to the market. So that clearly tells me that luxury properties are selling, obviously more than non-luxury properties. So if you want to focus your attention on what's selling, then maybe shift some of the attention to that market and find a way to integrate and get better at that market. So
Yeah.
because that is a crystal clear picture that people who are selling in that price point are those are big.
Well, and now let's look at the shift in the month, right? So this month we took 26 listings versus 43. That's a huge discrepancy. I mean, 26 listings versus 43 last year. And, that's more on par with each other, 14 million versus 27 million. So that obviously means either we're taking lower price point or there's some shift in price point in general, right? Or what's selling or what's getting listed. Listings sold, we sold 28 versus 34. And that was right on at 16 million versus 17 million. Contracts written, we were at 74 versus 109. And that volume was 35 million versus 52. So that's a pretty big shift. Right? I mean, just month over month, what we're gonna see next month in regards to close and close volume units and that's gonna be different. And I think it's gonna be interesting on how that switched in just 1 month. And then closed GCI, we were at just shy of 1 million, and then we were at 1 million last year, which this goes to your point. We sold how much more? And we actually made less. So someone in this is not taking as much of their commission.
Us.
I'm just saying, so that, I mean, if numbers don't lie, right? So if we close this much volume, this is not coming from a shift of buy, like the 0.6%. If there was more buyers than, I mean, a little bit of it, right? But otherwise there was still discount here with what that discrepancy is. Right?
Well, some of it's on the buy side too, because that's, I mean, we're seeing that.
Yeah.
This week, I have a client that wanted to see this $320,000 townhome, and they were offering $2,000 as a payout.
Yeah, it's getting
I
crazy.
see more and more 2% and 2.5. So it's not always about what are we discounting, but it's being passed on and then having to ask buyers. And then
Well, that's what I'm saying, someone here, it doesn't even have to be in here, like, it doesn't have to be our agents discounting, but if you're getting 2.2% instead than 2.7, that's a big shift. And you're seeing more and more 2.5s.
Yeah.
More and more of that. Like 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, right?
They know better.
Every single EXP.
Positive here for you guys is we shifted from 330, if you remember, this was, I think, the first month that we actually had profit share last year after the cap change. So April was the first month and we had $330, and a year later we're at 2,691. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot when you shifted the caps that much and changed things over on a business that what was done the year before. All right, Tanya, it's your turn. Yeah.
I mean, looking at that math, closed GCI should be a percentage of closed volume, right?
Yep. So that is averaging under 1%.
So that's not.
Well, it has to do with captive. So part of that is.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's gross commission.
Oh, gross commission. I thought you were talking about profit share. She's saying.
1%, like that's not, that is a pretty significant amount, is that right? Or is there an error there? It's just one page.
Those are the numbers. So, I mean, it could have been, I didn't look, there could have been something that someone took a whole project or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that is, but either way, like, that's low. So. Good question. Now it makes me want to check those numbers.
Check the numbers.
Yeah. All right,
You're
we're
on, everybody. Hello, hello. So Tanya Sample with New American Funding. Worked with all of you, so we know each other. I decided I'm gonna take it back a step and go back to basics. So a little bit about New American Funding. So first off, I have been part of the Market Center for a long time. 2014 is whenever I came into the Wayzata office. So it's been fun for sure. Been in the business since 2009. Worked at a bank and then moved into the lending side of the world, just a mortgage lender, not a bank. So we are a lender. We do fund our loans. We also service them. So whenever your client closes, they get their mortgage invoice from New American Funding. So they can reach out to me anytime during their loan and ask questions if they have them and so on. So I am going to set a little timer so that I don't go too far and leave a little bit of room for questions. But so Candy's gonna drive. Nope, Candy's not there. She's not really driving. I'm gonna drive. It's a PDF, so just roll down. So New American Funding, we are everywhere except for Hawaii. So you will see, if you follow me on any social media, you will see that I post a lot of Minnesota and Florida. I am personally licensed in both states.
but I do have a lot of relocations from both states. Matter of fact, lately, I've seen an increase from California coming to Minnesota. So lots of relocation stuff. So, we do finance everywhere, and Keller Williams is where? Are they everywhere in the United States? Okay, so keep that in mind whenever you're networking with your out of state agents, and doing referrals, we can actions as well. We just had somebody that they were gonna buy here and they decided to go to Nevada. So, they did a referral to someone at W in Nevada, in Reno, and, we're gonna continue to help them with their mortgage. So that worked out great for everybody. So as far as loan programs go, there isn't anything that we cannot do except for commercial. I don't do anything for commercial. I can only do a 4-unit property. But we have all of the programs as far as conventional, FHA, VA, all those fun things. One thing to note about being a lender, we also do portfolio. So an example of that would be, if somebody they're buying $1 million second home and they don't want to put 20% down, can do that on our portfolio side. So we still fund and service that entire. So we also do portfolio loans. When I mentioned that I have had clients that are very much up against competition, our cash buyer program has been very strong for people purchasing primary residence. It's not for investment. So not for investment, only for primary, but basically what we do is we give them our cash until they, well, maybe they're closing on their current primary and they just want that cash, kind of that bridge to float them, so that they come in as a cash offer. We see a lot of cash offers be able to come in under list price, even, you know, a little more negotiation room instead of having to offer, you know, 80,000 over list price. So we do have a cash program. Has a very small fee comparison with other banks that have started this program as well. Oh, and that's our cash program. So, you guys, how much cash are you running into right now? The cash buyers are coming through your door. Well, that's one.
I have one closing this month.
Cash buyers? Okay, so real cash versus not their real cash, but our real cash, okay? So it's essentially the same thing. You do have to get certified in order to write an offer, using our own money so that you understand how that works. Everything, you do get paid at the cash closing, so nothing different there. But anyway, so if you have questions on that, we can chat, but go ahead and go their way. Hey, drivers, am I paying you? No.
If you offer, that would be awesome because that profit would go up, so.
Okay, so pre-approval writing. Actually it was on the first page, so our pre-approval is within 24 to 48 hours. That is not when someone does the application and I get them initially eligible. Once I have that financial conversation with them, I actually send the file to our underwriter. So the underwriter that's gonna follow the file through to closing, I have them fully approved with the underwriter. So what's nice about that is it shorten that window. So if we need to close in 2 weeks, we can make it happen. Okay, it's huge. But typically, you know, if that were to catch any red flags, that might be the time. I've been doing this long enough that I can underwrite in my own file. They don't give me that ability, but there it is. The other thing that we do is a lot of marketing. So we actually have another training class today, but it conflicted with your meeting. So next time we have another one, I'll be sure to let you know about that. We host marketing trainings regularly. Today is very specific on open houses, social media, video content. And so those are fun things to just kind of see what's happening out there right now. What are some things that if anyone's following the dessert team right now, we know that this girl over here has been knocking out of the park with their social media, which is awesome. And many of you do a lot of videos, so keep that up. Keeping you top of mind as far as loan status updates as we're moving through the process, to keep the buyer's agent and the listing agent current on where the process is at as we're meeting high-level triggers. Okay, if there's any other updates, those are typically also coming from myself or my assistant. And so that's just that general. When we post on a loan, the invoice, whether it's email or if it's in the mail, you are marketed on that invoice to the client. You're on there quarterly, as well as me. So if there's certain things that are happening in the market, we're seeing a lot of recreation stuff, there's rates drop. We're giving them call to action to let them know where things are happening, so they are seeing on as well. Anniversaries, birthdays, we send a card in the mail, and that continues for the life of the loan. So we're constantly keeping the owners, we're constantly keeping track of that client and helping your market initiative. So, closing cards ongoing. Local market update videos. With your Keller Williams marketing, you have a ton of tools. This is an additional thing that it's not Keller Williams, but I can brand you and your Keller Williams branding this. But this is just on a monthly, you can do county or state market updates as far as where the numbers are at. Right now, kind of with, when Amy was doing her numbers and you're seeing that negative. So, maybe listings are down, value is down, whatever the correction in the market is that's happening. That information is cool for us. We know it, we're living it every day. But when we show that to a consumer, unless we give more information, it kind of makes it look like the market's crashing versus what is really happening. So when I see some of those negative numbers, it needs to come with more content. So that's just one thing I think with any information that we put out there is to provide more content to what those mean. But those are things where if you're wanting to kind of where the market's at and share information, those are the things. And then property profile stuff. This have you heard of HomeBot? Is anybody using it? Okay. If it is something that you've seen and you're interested in, let me know. I actually use it with all of our clients that we close with. And really what it does is every about 30, 45 days, I should know the exact date, whatever, 30, 45 days, they get an email just letting them know kind of what's happening with their market in their area. And so what has the, has the value gone up? If you were to refinance, it look like remodel things, with a lot of different tips and tricks. So to the homeowner. And then if somebody does any kind of inquiry, I've had a lot of HELOC questions. People are wanting to do that second mortgage. And so that's been one of the big triggers that I get. But I've also had people say, hey, what does my market value look like? I think I want to go ahead and rent and buy my next property, rent this one out. So we're having those conversations. So, but that's something that we can tie you to. Let's see, education, when we go through the process, you can Google anything, right? Like I had an ache, and so I Googled it. I was dying. I didn't just see that. I was dying. I wasn't really. Every time. I reached out and drink more water. Really what it came down to. But we can Google a lot of stuff about the market, about mortgages, whatever. And there's so much really good information out there, but it may not pertain to that person's specific scenario. And so I'll get a lot of Googlers that are like, okay, so I think I can do this and this and this. Wait a minute. What do we want to do? Where are you at? What are we trying to accomplish? Do we need to reduce monthly payment, have more bedrooms? What do we need? And then what does that really look like? And then going through that process of this is what it looks like from start to finish, from application to the time that you get a contract, that you close, and then thereafter. And so just bringing them through that piece of it and holding their hand, especially a first-time home buyer, super, super important. First-time home buyers right now, you guys, with the way that the prices have gone, as well as interest rates, I have been seeing a lot more first-time home buyers looking at rural and FHA. So that is something too. However, the pricing, and this is going to go across the board for everybody, conventional price is better than FHA, especially with mortgage FHA just did a reduction in mortgage insurance, so that was a good savings for first-time home buyers. That's fair, but, I think that you may see more of that, with your buyers. So, will you go to that little graph? This is fun, right? Everybody follow that? Yeah. Okay, let me tell you what it is.
This is what I wanted to hear.
Okay, so, LLPAs, loan price adjustment. Not new, it's always been there. However, the most recent LLPA, loan price adjustments, have been getting a lot of news. And a lot of us are hanging out on TikTok a lot more nowadays too. And I've seen a super funny one where the guy was gonna go, decided to pay his bills later, charge up his credit card so that he could negatively impact his credit score. It's a horrible idea. But it was TikTok. And I actually had people send it to me and be like, is this for real? Am I really getting, like, do I have to have lower credit to get a better deal? I can share this, it's just a PDF. We could send it out even, I don't know. Well, I don't know if we want to send it out to anybody that's not in here, just because it's not going to make a ton of sense. I guess if you have questions, let me know. But, so this is, and this, you can Google LLPAs and you can see these charts. It's not specific to any lender or anything. I mean, this is what it is. So what we have over here is what the credit score is. Then we have what is our loan to value. So if we're doing 15% down, where do we fall? Okay, so that is what the brackets are. Now in here, when we see green, that's a good thing. When we see red, it's a bad thing. Okay, just like when the storms are coming in on the weather map. So that is where we are right now. But this one down here, if you can scroll just a tinge so we can see that. So this one, what it's doing is it's showing you the changes versus the previous. So to put this into real data, what is this horrible LLPA? Now I can't, I have perfect credit, great down payment. I'm going to get a worse deal, da, da, da. What does this really mean? So down here, you can see, well, here in the red, you can see who's going to price out worse. So if I have a 740 to 759, and I do, let's say 15% down, I am going to price out worse than if I were to just go ahead and put 25% down, 5% down. If I did 5% down, my interest rate's going to be better than if I did 20% down. Okay, so this is just showing you who really took a negative. And then you see down here, if I have a credit score at below 620, you see my pricing didn't really actually get that much better, just a little bit. So whenever we're talking about like some of the stuff that I've seen people posting, even on the news, did you see any? I don't know if anybody watches news. That was another thing people were sending me clips on the news because I don't watch it. This is whatever, it's delayed or it's not true or whatever. But anyway, so they're saying, hey, you're going to take a whole % of a rate hit. So, if my score is 620, I'm going to get, 6.5. But then if Rachel, if she's got an 800 score, she's going to get 7.5. That's not how it actually works. Okay. So when it comes to the LLPAs, what the point of this was to help home ownership for our first time home buyers and get them more on a level playing ground with our higher credit, more money down, right? All these things. So when I'm looking at this, and when I go through a review as a lender, and I have someone right now that's very adamant on putting 20% down. So what I'm doing is I'm showing them do 20, do 15, 10, and you do 5. I know they don't want to do 5. I just want them to see the pricing difference. So this is where the rate is at each one of these junctions. This is what you'll pay in interest. So 7 years or 15 years or 30 years, what's the real cost? And then if you have mortgage insurance, what does that cost? What's the real cheaper thing? Are you going to keep this house for 30 years? Are we going to refinance it in 2? Are we gonna refinance it in 12 months? Okay, rates are gonna change. But those are the super important conversations to have with someone that is taking on financing. Doesn't matter if it's their first or their 10th property. This is the stuff that they need to understand because now we have social media and news that are giving us information. You guys talked about where's fear factor, where's the information coming from? And so having these, conversations with people so that they understand what they can do is so important. It may take an hour conversation to go through it, but they walk away feeling more comfortable and confident about what their next step is going to be. Okay. All right. And you've heard it time and time again on, during your meetings, but people that have purchased in the last 3 to 4 years, there is a huge percent of those clients that I've been talking to that I've worked with, personal experience, that are holding their properties as rentals and buying that next one because they see how it is you're an investor. Even if you only have your own primary home and nothing else, you're an investor. It's another strategy for making money later. So many more people are seeing that and understanding it and wanting to be in that game. The interest rate is so low, mortgage payment is still lower than rent on that current primary, and they want to retain that if they can. They know they can sell it if they need to. But lots of people are doing rentals on their current primary and now purchasing them. So they can do it.
What are kind of the span of HELOC rates right now?
So HELOC rates, that's an awesome question. HELOC rates there's even more movement in a HELOC rate than I would say like this. Because you can do interest only, you can do a fixed, you can do an ARM, you can do a 3, 7, or 10-year fix. For the interest rates on HELOCs are higher from what I've seen than what an actual fixed rate mortgage is. So I mean, I would estimate anywhere from 1.5 to like 3.5, depending on what. Cash out refinances, believe it or not, are a topic of homeowners conversations right now versus a HELOC. It all depends on what they want to do. And so what I do, because we also do home equity lines. It's just not, I mean, it may price out better than what some other options are that I can do. It may price out better at a little bank on a HELOC than what I can. So I look at it, what can I do? Does it make sense? Can you do better over here? Let's get you over here to this way. But on the home equity line versus a cash out, in some cases, because it's not the same for everyone, but in some cases, a cash out, even though the interest rate is higher, depending on what they're wanting to do. Why are they doing this in the first place? What is the end result? Makes more sense than sometimes a HELOC because the monthly payment could still be lower than what that HELOC is. And this could be, I'm going to say a Band-Aid, it's a short fix to get to this end result that they're going to. And then the opportunity to potentially refinance later. We also have a rate protection plan. I'm sure a lot of other lenders are doing that too. I don't know. But our rate protection for our home buyers, and I talked to them about this, whenever we're going through the approval process, our rate protection is you're not going to pay those lender fees again when we go to refinance. If you have escrows, we set that up, and you'll have to pay title fees, the recording, but we're not going to charge you the lender fee again, 5-year rate protection. So that is just one of those pieces where we're trying to help them get over the hump of, well, I don't want to refinance again, after I buy my first house. Well, it's going to financially make sense at some point, but then the next couple of years it's going to make sense. So great. Anyway, so LLPAs, if you have, because I mean, there's tons of questions about this. I think there's even more misinformation out there about LLPAs. I don't know if anybody has seen much information out there. I've seen a lot of videos about this. And so that's just to give you that visual. So this is really this is who gets hit worse. And so for these people, then we would have the conversation on this side, or can we bump a credit score up so that we can get not so much of a hit. I can do resource credit. for-
So if I'm reading this right, if you've got a credit score of 780 to, 680 to 780, anywhere in that range, a really strong credit score, and you were gonna put down as much as
10%.
15-20%, you are now disadvantaged?
15% right here. You see where that 15 versus the 20 is?
Yeah.
Or just a hair over 15? Yep, that's it.
And how much of a rate difference is it? Almost a full point?
And
And how does this not feel like we're penalizing people who have, lived within their means?
that are right here.
Yeah, yeah, and saved up their money and,
Want to make it stronger.
yeah.
I'm with you.
It is not making logical sense to me. That's the part I'm confused. I have a guy right now who's lived like super tight in his life and he saved up all this money. He's got this big chunk of a down payment and he's got perfect credit. And really, you think this is a responsible person who's now.
Exactly. And so in a scenario like this, what I would do is I would price it out right here and I would do the mortgage insurance. And I would show them what the difference is in paying that mortgage insurance versus getting that lower rate. Because even in the first 2 years, that's going to make sense to do that. So those are some of those things that we would do. But also, Wendy, to that point, the intention, does that suck? Yeah, it does. The intention, look at this one. Right here versus right here. So our folks that had lower scores were getting hit immensely off of the rate. So it's just letting them play.
I think one of the things that as a realtor is really going to be really important is if our clients start doing that, we're submitting an offer. I think the call of, hey, I want to let you know my client is more than well qualified. However, it makes more financial sense for them to put 5% or 10%.
Oh, sure, like when they're
15% down than 20. They could put 20, but it saves them half a point on a rate. I want you to know my client's going to close. If you need to talk to the lender about it, you can call Tanya at that,
Yeah.
right? Because if we submit a 5% offer, it's not getting accepted unless there's the backstory of why.
And you guys, if you're working with me or someone else, your lender should always be talking to that listing agent. So whenever I say submit that offer, should be including me on it so that I can reach out to that listing agent. That conversation changes things. We just had one the other day that these people were basically 3 of them that were very much neck and neck. Matter of fact, I don't even know if our client was as strong because we're using down payment assistance. Anybody use down payment assistance? Did that just weaken them? They got accepted. And it was because of the conversation, communication that was going on with everyone. So it's huge. Okay. So anyway, so that's that. And I think he was like looking at everybody's social media to see if everybody was the real deal. Like, is this lender, I don't know, been around for a year or what, I don't know what else he saw. Hopefully it was all good. But anyway.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Yeah, you're very welcome. If you guys have any questions, though, just reach out to me. And I'll try and answer those best I can or your clients and get them informed. So thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
If you have questions for, while you're painting.
See you around tomorrow. Well, I hope that it doesn't rain all day because we have lunch.
Yeah.
I know. We want soggy bread.
Well, you know how Katie was like, everybody takes, and we do that too. So this was my mistake. It was actually 36, not 96. So I am sorry. That does totally change this slide.
Oh, yeah.
So closed volume was 36, not 96, which does, thank you for pointing out, we're like, that 1% would be really weird, whoever said that. But yeah, so it was 36, which does still show that like 87 to 75, there isn't quite as big a gap as what you think, but not a crazy, like not double. So that was
People are still getting paid. We're not taking the huge reduction.
course they'll get paid. Okay, and then, so we have like a lot of fun stuff. We have some drawings and then, we spin the wheel today. So. the other side. Okay, who wants to draw for half the pot, which will be $7? We're kind of cool and strong at like $14 every time. Draw the number and then you say it out loud.
Okay. 9870744.
Oh, me. Yay! Did you?
Not
Lucky
last time,
dog.
but.
Alright. And then, as you guys recall, you can send me your CE and we're gonna continue drawing all month for winners who have told me how much CE they have left. Wanna have points on the envelope for a gift card in here?
Gift card goes to Marie. Oh,
All right, so I will call her and let her know that she is the winner. Yay. Good, so keep sending that in. And now we have to spin the wheel. So, I know, I'm kind of nervous. Usually Heather does this, so now I'll do the money.
Guys can spin it.
If you're here, come on up and get your money.
Go, Manny.
You're gonna do it, girl. Because you're lucky. You okay? Bring your finger in.
No, no.
Fine. That is awesome.
The lovely lunch. Connor.
Cover the table.
I can't do that. Sorry. Yeah.
She got spin again. 10, so she got 20.
Yeah.
And you have go get money.
I think you have one more.
Yeah,
One more.
$1.
All right.
$1.
That's good.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And I came in here with, oh, I've got me.
And you want to spin the wheel?
Free present to spend.
Oh, isn't she great?
Again.
$1.
One. Big winner. Okay. Dollar richer.
That's right.
Tip your barista.
We're going at 2:00, yeah. We're not shopping. She's not ready to buy. Not shopping. Yeah. Just sell our house first. Yeah. We'll get there, but we're not there yet.
Oh.
But hopefully we kind of get her, I mean, nothing we see is gonna be.
You doing a listing? Is that the neighborhood one?
Oh, I work for
Oh.
the property management groups. Well, they were
Yeah,
out of our
see it.
office. RPM, you just brokerage. I don't know why. But
I think she should, I mean, it doesn't help me at all, but